Welcome to the review of the NOX Hummer TG. This case has been sent to me for review by Simark Supplies. NOX may not be the first name that comes to mind when you're looking for cases, but what do they have to offer? This case right here is priced locally in Malta at €100, and what does €100 buy you? First of all, we've got tempered glass on the right side panel and the front, both 4mm tempered glass, 3 120mm fans at the front with blue LEDs. There is a top panel where the power button resides, the reset button, as well as USB and audio connections. It has a shroud for your cable management and power supply. You want to make sure you don't use large power supplies which are non-modular. The problem is the space is limited, and if you can't move your cables about, it will be a bit difficult to fit stuff in. That being said, right here in the bottom compartment there are also 3 slots for 3.5-inch HDDs, so that limits your space even more if you are using traditional HDDs. As far as disk compatibility goes, there are another 2 vertical SSD mounting points right behind the fans, which are of no interference whatsoever to any other components in the system. It supports coolers up to 163mm in height. You want to consider this if you are using air cooling, and it supports graphic cards up to 415mm. This is probably not going to be the case for anyone, since most cards hover about 30 centimeters, 300 or so millimeters. Motherboard compatibility, we have ATX, micro ATX and mini ITX. There is ample space in the case for displaying purposes. We can see 7 expansion slots at the back, so that's a lot to work with for a case this size. It is lower, so there is not as much height because there are no fans up top. The top is just a solid panel. There are no fans here. In fact, the only fans there are the 3 at the front, which are of course included, and 1 exhaust fan at the back, which isn't included. The fans are very inaudible. They're very quiet, although they do look like they are low RPM. I would think they're about 900, 800 something RPM, but you don't have to worry about noise because you won't be able to hear these fans at all. Looking at compatibility of coolers, apart from having 163mm in height available, if you're using an AIO or a custom loop, you can use the front fans. All 3 fans can be used. There is in fact an opening for a radiator to pass through the shroud if it's a 360mm radiator. However, that is the only place you can position your radiator. So you want that, and you want to buy a fan for the exhaust because you don't want that heat to be trapped inside. The side panel glass has a rectangular shape. It extends further lower than the case, in the middle, right above the feet, just a little bit. You want to be careful when handling this. You don't want to pull or tug from this place because it might break the glass. You want to handle it from the front or from the back. In the middle, it is held with 4 thumb screws, and if you remove all 4 thumb screws, the glass is not going to fall off because there are placeholders under every thumb screw, so then you can remove the glass yourself. The front panel glass is embedded into the front panel. There doesn't seem to be a way to remove that, so you want to be careful you don't break this glass, because removing it might be a bit of a task, or at that point worth replacing the entire case. The case is made completely out of metal except for the front panel, which is made of plastic, as you can hear. Anything else is made of metal, and it is not as thick So it does seem quite sturdy, so I wouldn't doubt it. But when you're carrying a case that may have a custom loop, you may want to be careful on positioning, because unlike thick steel cases, it won't be able to withstand a knock. So you want to be careful when you have certain components in it. But other than that, it is quite sturdy. So in conclusion, for a small build, this case is quite nice. I would personally use it actually in a build. The only thing that would stop me would be the color, which is limited to blue LED fans. Do not worry though, there is the NOX Hummer TG X, which is the RGB version, which comes at a higher premium. Thanks for watching my review on the NOX Hummer TG. If you've liked the video, please like and subscribe. Take care.